Hey there, kids. Let's talk about the customary system of measurement. And we use this in the United States, all right? Nobody else in the world uses this because we in the United States are crazy. We like to wear our shirts with no sleeves. We like rock and roll music. We do our own thing. Everybody else in the world uses metric, which is probably better, but we've got this crazy system of customary measurement. And so before in the metric system, everything was based on the number 10, but not here. Okay, you got to memorize all this stuff. We have 1 foot, and that equals 12 inches. Okay, and then we have 1 yard, and that equals 3 feet. Now, if you go 3 times 12, you get 36. And so in 1 yard, you get 36 inches. All right, that's for length. And we also have a mile. You ever heard of that? Okay, I think it's like 5,280 feet, 1,760 yards, but nobody's going to ask you that. Okay, they're going to want to know how many inches are in a foot, how many feet are in a yard, and how many inches are in a yard. Okay, now customary weights, units of weight. In America, we use pounds. Okay, overseas, everywhere else, they use kilograms. But 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Memorize that. And then if you have 2,000 pounds, that equals 1 ton. All right, customary units of liquid. And this is the craziest one right here because even adults have trouble memorizing this right here. But we use a cup and it has 8 ounces. If you have 2 cups, 8 and 8, that makes 16 ounces, and that's a pint. If you have a quart, well, that's 2 pints. Well, that's 16 and 16, that's 32. 32 ounces in a quart. And also, a quart has 4 cups in it because 4 times 8 is 32. A gallon has 4 quarts, okay? And believe it or not, it's 128 ounces. And that would be the same thing as 4 times 32. A gallon also has 8 pints and it has 16 cups. Good luck memorizing all this. That's why we let you use the conversion chart in your agenda. Okay, well, anyway, let's talk about this right here. Customary benchmarks. Well, an inch is about from your knuckle to the top of your finger. Okay, for me, I'm an adult, so it's about the width of my thumb. All right. This right here is a license plate, and that's about 1 foot long. Hey, you want to know something? My foot is actually a foot. It really is. It's 12 inches. A yard is about the length of a baseball bat, and a mile, it would take you about 20 minutes to walk a mile. Go try it if you don't believe me. Customary units of liquid. Well, we have a cup. You have 2 of these, that makes a pint. You have 2 of these, that makes a quart. You have 2 of these, and that makes a half gallon. You have 2 of these, and that makes a gallon. Okay? It's really hard to memorize. A lot of people have trouble with it. Now, this is too much to focus on for one lesson. So for this lesson, we're just going to talk about inches and fractions of an inch. Okay? So here you are. Last time we were together, we were talking about the metric system, and that was with centimeters. Remember that? And we said that there are 10 millimeters in every centimeter. And it was so easy just to count by tens. But we can't do anything easy in the United States, so we use inches, and it's not divided up into 10 spaces. Let's see how much it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's right. An inch is divided up into 16 parts, and we call them fractions of an inch. So, for example, if we were to count right here, I told you that this really long one right here is eighths. Okay, it's 8 of those. So we call this 8/16. You can also call it 1/2. This little bit shorter one is called 4/16, and you can call it a quarter because if you were to simplify 4/16, it would give you 1/4. This one right here is another fourth, okay, and that's 3/4, okay, and that would be the same thing as 12/16. All right, so these are really kind of hard to memorize, but it goes like this: 1/16, 2/16. That can be simplified to 1/8. 3/16, 4/16. That can be simplified to 1/4. 5/16, 6/16. 7/16, 8/16. We said was 1/2, 9/16, 10/16, 11/16, 12/16 is 3/4, 13/16, 14/16, 15/16, and then finally right here we get 16/16, and that's a whole inch. I didn't simplify all of those because these are the ones you most commonly use. 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and 1 whole. All right, well, let's figure out what this is right here. This bar, this blue bar, it starts right here and we start counting. We go all the way up to 1 inch. It's longer than 1 inch, but these are fractions of an inch. All right, and we get to right here. Okay, it's about that long, isn't it? So that's, okay, that's 1 inch. And then we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so it's like 1 and 12/16. But you kids know that you can simplify 12/16. Both the 12 and the 16 are divisible by 4. So I can take the 12 and divide it by 4 and the 16 and divide it by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 1 and 12/16 really equals 1 and 3/4. Either one of those answers would be fine. Okay. All right, here's another one right here. How many inches is it? And we know it's inches because it says it right there. And also because it's divided up into 16 parts instead of 10 parts. Centimeters used 10 parts, didn't it? All right, well, we've got 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, and it's a little bit more. It's like 5 and 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16. It could be 1 and 5/16, but I'm going to pretend it's 1 and 4/16 because that'll be more interesting. 1 and 4/16. All right, that's correct, but we can simplify 4/16. I can divide this by 4, and I can divide this by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So 1 and 4/16 really equals the same thing as 1 and 1/4. That would be a good answer, okay? Let's try another one right here. Well, this one right here, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16, and 5/16. So this one is 1 and 5/16. We can't simplify it. That's just what it is, okay? It's using the customary system of inches. We're not using metric, are we? Here's the last one that we're going to do right here. And this one is 1 inch, 2 inch, and it's not 3 inches, okay? So it's 1 and a half would be right here. So that'd be 8/16, 9/16, 10/16. So I'm going to call this right here 2 and 10/16. But that right there can be simplified because I can divide the 10 and the 16 by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So really it's the same thing as 2 and 5/8. Okay, well anyway, on to the lesson right here. They want you to measure this in inches, but you're going to need to have a fraction to go with it. Now I can't show it to you on the screen right here because I can't hold up a ruler to this line. You wouldn't be able to see it, but we can do it on paper together, and we're going to do it on paper this Friday. We'll practice in class, but you want to tell me how many inches it is and how many fractions of an inch it is. Okay, there you go. Go ahead and give that a try. If you need help, come and see us. We will help you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.